understand a rebuke is for love. Because if I don't rebuke you, then I really don't love you. But because I don't feel love, I'm just going to make a decision and leave. No. Like, there has to be understanding of commitment, right? Like, I've grown enough to know she loves me, vice versa, right? But there are days I don't feel the same, maybe love directed. So I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'm getting out of here. I'm out of here for a couple days. Like, I'm out of here for a week. I need to feel love. Where's the
trying
line?
to get this going, because then you have people that their parents might have been like, you know what? I had a girl, but I want a boy. Let's just put an X there, and then I'm gonna make her a girl.
What's going on,
or
Prophet?
Boy, or whichever it is.
Good to see you, man.
Crazy.
Happy New Year to you too. Yeah, I think it's wild. Like,
to get in here, I told him to be a little,
nerve-wracking because it's not the same thing. So for me with hair transplants, which I have not gotten, by the way, but I know, okay, but I know of people that have. I'm sorry. I will apologize for that. I shouldn't have put your age out there. I'm sorry.
Like, no, I'm joking. But,
no, I'm sorry. I know that's a pet peeve, so I apologize.
But
I do apologize for that, seriously. But anyhow, in the basement, I don't care about those scars.
Great conversation.
I don't care about that. In the basement, for her birthday.
You do care about scarves. You don't have scarves.
No, I'm just saying I don't care.
So
it's
you
fine.
do care about it.
On her birthday, I had, we have a basement. We got our basement finished, but in the basement we have like a room. This room, now mind y'all, this room, I actually wanted to make this room my studio.
You talking about the basement?
Yeah.
You was not even thinking about that. Stop it.
Let me finish my statement. Hold it.
Lay hands on no man's son.
That's not what that means, and you know that,
know,
so be quiet. So let me finish.
No,
let me
that's
finish.
what.
too a lot, but I can hear myself.
I can hear you now better.
Okay, maybe I'm talking in it a little more. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. What is, because I was about to do something else first. What
do something else then.
The deal? What is the deal? Good evening, guys. Welcome to Des and Ya Talk. We are not going to be before you long tonight. We are keeping it at 30 minutes.
That's what we're doing?
To keep it at 30 minutes tonight.
Okay.
That is where we're at right now. Of course, sometimes the comments go a little bit. Actually, I have not shared.
You got to look on my page. I don't have my phone. Dream had my phone.
Yeah, that's fine. But while you guys are getting on, jump on, say hello. Let us know that you're here. We see some of you guys jumping on. Let us know
Beatrice,
that you're here.
good to see you.
We are going to. Good evening, Beatrice. We are going to. Let me just share this. Oh, what happened?
Just click share. You're doing too much. Ay. Had a good day. Went out to the mall. People almost got arrested.
Yes, shout out to everyone that participated in the Jesus Challenge, y'all. We had a great time out and about today.
Yeah.
We did manage not to get arrested.
10, I got stories that was 6 cops, 10 cops. I was there, but I wasn't there when the action went down.
So there was, I want to say it was 6, because there was 2 we were talking to. A few of us were talking to 2 on one side.
Tell everybody what's going on. Though.
Okay. So we did the Jesus Challenge today. So what we did, we went out to share Jesus. We were actually...
How many of us was it? 18? It was about 20.
Yeah, it was probably about 20. It was
20.
2022. Because 2 people came at the end, and before that it was 20. So, however, whichever way we look at it, we were out spreading the gospel, sharing Jesus. Today we happened to be at the Cherry Hill Mall.
It was good.
We had a great time. We had fun. We were asking questions. We had surveys. So
Visionary right here.
it was
Visionary.
really a
It's the
it was
visionary.
really
It
a
was
fun
good.
time. And we're looking to do another
I should
one.
wear my hoodie.
Not too. Oh yeah, we're
Sorry.
looking to do another one soon. Not very soon, but we're gonna do it again because everybody seems to enjoy it. We're gonna do a different location, and of course, it's a thing for everybody. It's actually not just certain people or select. We do allow anybody to get involved because what we're doing is doing what the Bible tells us to do. So it was exciting. It was different. And even with the rain and everything, it was a little discouraging. I was like, but God still had his way. We
You mean
still had
beforehand?
fun.
It wasn't
Yeah, it
discouraging
was
when we got
raining.
there.
Yeah, when we got there, it was, yeah, we were good.
Nah.
I think once we got to the, once we met, it was just like everybody was all excited. So it
Yeah.
just like from there, it was good. It was a good time.
It was
You
excellent.
want to talk about the cops? How they,
I
guess this is
I
our
wasn't part of the
little
cops.
pre-talk.
I was
Okay, so
I was talking to
to
a
somebody.
young man.
Okay, so with the cops, I wasn't part of it either. They just kind of showed up. But what happened was, when we were there, it was actually right before we were finishing up because we had a time that we were out to do. It's supposed to be 10 and 12. So at 11:55, we got the news that security said we were soliciting and we had to stop. So at that point,
Listening.
we didn't do anything else. We just kind of told everybody and we started heading back because we were finished anyway. I'm not sure how we were soliciting actually, because
Doesn't make
when
any sense.
you think about what soliciting is, we weren't selling anything.
Jesus.
We were, but we were just actually having conversations about God and getting some, doing some surveys. So I don't even understand how they got that, but they just wanted us out. So it was funny. We kind of
We looked like a mob though, because we all had the same shirts
we
on.
all had the same shirts,
We had on
colors,
like our
and we had big photo props
oh yeah, the
walking
photo
around.
props,
So
man. We looked like we about to be a mob, like they do them flash mobs. That's what we look like.
Yeah, we should have all got together and did a dance or a
But we
song or
separated
something
in
like
groups
that.
though. We separated in groups of 6 and 7, so it was 3 groups.
Yes, so it's 3. Oh, hey, Katrina. I'm sorry, we're just getting on the Facebook. I wasn't even on there. Good evening, Katrina. There were 4 on one side. They were really nice. Yes, they were nice. So we had 2 on our side, and then when we turned around, there was
What's
another
up, Jabbar?
4. Hi, Jabbar.
Yeah, it was good.
But we had a good time. So anyway, we were actually heading, once we got the news, we were heading out. But we wanted to get something to eat, something to drink. So all of us wound up in the food court. And when we were at the food court, we had 2 officers that came, and they were just standing over there. So we started to talk to them, to find out kind of what was going on. And they were like, yeah, they just called. They didn't even understand why they got called, but they said they just had to come. They was like, y'all aren't doing anything, so.
Hey, Mary.
They were very.
Mary, give us a good synopsis. Mary was.
Hey, Mary. Yes. And it was great seeing different people come out of their comfort zones and just share Jesus and talk. It was really good. So we didn't get the cops wound up leaving too after a minute
because they didn't care.
they were like,
was fine.
y'all
Like,
aren't doing anything. Right?
Yeah.
They said we don't even understand why they called us, but hey, we have fun. So that's what matters. That's
we got a good hour and a half
that's
in.
what mattered. Yeah, we got a good. Yes.
Met all kind of folk.
Yes, we did. Yes,
the lady that was an atheist, that was.
Yes.
When y'all met her first and talked to her, then I went back because I was like, I'm intrigued. And she talked to me for a good 15 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time. Talk to people about Jesus.
Yes.
And it's just a lot that happened. We'll recap it another time.
I know. I feel like we'll take the whole time recapping,
yeah.
so we're not going to get into it. Just shout out to everybody that came out.
Shout out. It was
everybody said yes. Bravo to y'all. Y'all helped make
job.
it a success. So we're grateful for everyone that participated. And everyone said they had fun. So that's a great thing.
It was a positive impact. It was good. It was good, and people. I think it's challenging people even to get into church, but also I think this is my last point. I'm gonna say. I think it was good because it challenged people, like you were saying, to come out of their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people that would have never done that in our church.
Right.
Just now, they even said it to me like, I'm feeling more comfortable. I'm feeling more comfortable
to
be able to share the gospel. So it was great.
Yes. So maybe join us for our next one, okay? Because we got a lot of feedback that we should do it again. So we are looking at doing it again. But let's get into our conversation because we are not going to try to be on here long. We understand, especially those of you I see that are on. I don't know if you got a nap. We didn't get a nap.
Nope.
So we had the challenge and then work. So we aren't going to hold you guys long, but we just want to start the conversation. So today is, let me see, hibernation from the haters were a
It
little
says
too late.
hateration, baby.
Oh, okay, hateration.
Let
Oh,
me
I
adjust
know,
them
I know.
glasses.
Yes, they were too late. Um, but we are, yeah, it
You
was
said
acknowledged for me. I
hibernation.
enjoyed it. Had a good time. Good. I'm so glad to hear that. We're gonna start with. I know we usually do our top 10, but today we have a question of the day, and I'm trying to find out where our question of the day one is. Looks like it got
It's right
moved
there.
actually.
No, it's not.
Where?
Oh, video. I'm not sure what video is
Sorry, y'all. Well, I don't know what happened to our. There it is,
that.
right
That's what I
there.
said.
Question of the day. Okay. So our question of the day. This is a scenario that I thought was pretty funny. So for you, you are a apostle, but you're a man of God, right? So meaning you greet people, you talk to people all the time, handshakes, hugs, high fives, all that good stuff. We usually do like a pound and stuff, right?
Okay.
So this question is for the apostle. So you're in. This is the scenario. I'm gonna paint the scenario. You have to answer the question.
Okay.
You are in the restroom getting ready for service.
Mm-hmm.
You're washing your hands. You know, getting ready to
Uh-huh.
go in, preparing your mind, everything to go in
Okay.
for service. Someone is in a stall where you're at, right?
Okay.
You hear them going to work. So we are talking about number 2.
Okay.
Splatters.
All
You
right.
hear all the noise. So you know
Happens.
they're releasing,
It happens.
you know. After they come out, you see them come out, they say, you know, hi or whatever, you're walking out. They don't wash their hands.
How do I know that if I saw them?
You're
Okay.
Yes, because they're
Come
walking out
on.
behind you.
Come on. Okay. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
we got the kids came in. They're walking out.
The microwave went off? All right, I'm
Okay.
coming in a second.
They're walking out behind you as you walk out. Halfway through the service, you decide to do a call for people that want to join the church. They come up, shake your hand. Are you shaking the hand or no?
No, I'm gonna give them a big hug.
You know they did
But I
not
do,
wash
and I
their
remember
hands.
that.
You know they did not wash their hands, and they just want to give you a handshake
I'll
because
probably
they
hug them.
appreciate you greatly.
That's my
They
quick
don't
answer.
hug.
They going to hug that day.
They don't hug. They don't. You know
If
how some
I'm
people don't do
conscious,
hugs
if I'm conscious that I've had that happen before where I know someone who didn't wash their hands.
after splattering.
Like football, I see kids and some kids don't wash their hands. I'll be like,
That's
I'm not.
different though.
I shaking your
I mean, I
hand.
think
I
like
say
at
it to
school
them.
or something, that's a little bit different compared to like you to
If an adult came up to me, I'm
if
like,
it's the pastor or something like that, and they'd be like,
I'd be like,
you know,
bless you, man.
especially like older men, they
I'd be
don't
like,
want the
bless
pound.
you. They gonna get a pound that day. I'm telling you, they gonna get a pound. They
What
gonna get
y'all
a
doing?
hug.
What y'all doing? Are y'all are y'all handshaking?
They gonna get a pound. Or they gonna get a hug. It's gonna be one or the other.
Hey, Overseer Rivera.
I'm
It
not.
took me a
What's
minute.
going on, man?
You try to get them.
I'm
So
gonna touch base with y'all about this weekend.
you
Yeah, I'm pounding them.
pounding. So
Yeah.
no handshake.
No.
No handshake.
Nope.
Okay. What if they say something to you about it?
I'll be like, I saw you didn't wash your hands.
Would
I'm
you
sorry,
tell
I'm
them
too
that?
real.
Would you
Heck
tell them
yes.
that? Okay. Okay. That's funny.
I'm sorry, I'm too real when it comes to that kind of stuff.
It's
Like,
stuff like that happens.
sidebar. So one of my well, this is just funny. My assistant coach, like I guess I've, because I'm married to you, I've like been so conscious of these kinds of things constantly. So one of my coaches, he was trying to pass me like I forgot what it was like. Yes, some candy or something like that, and then he gonna pass me like a piece of candy like out of his hand. Like it was like Skittles or something like that. And then he had some. I was like, let me get some Skittles, right? So instead of giving me the bag, he had the Skittles in his hands, like, here you go, and like trying to pass. I said, I'm not eating those.
Exactly.
He's like,
Out of your
what? This is
head.
the first time like we ever interaction about stuff. I was like, I'm not eating those. He was like, I was like, listen, man, I don't do that. You know what I mean? And now, like, I just tell I don't do that. You can call it what it is. You can say what you want, but I don't do that. I need it out the bag. If you ain't got no more in the bag, then don't worry about it. And the funny thing is, as a pastor, everybody think you're gonna be like all nice. Like, no, I'm gonna be nice when they come up to join the church. No, I mean we nice, but I don't want to. I'm sorry, I'm not about contamination.
Yeah. So you answered the other question about if somebody is digging in You know how people dig
Yeah.
in like bags and then they want to give you
Nope.
something. No, no,
Nope.
thank you.
Let me go check on. Let me go
Once
check on
them
them real
hands
quick.
go in there, okay.
I'll be right back.
Once
2 minutes, y'all.
once those hands go in there, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's
That's
it.
it. Once those hands go in the bag, okay? Or we pouring it out. We pouring it out. And the hard part about it is that when it's something that you really want, the man of God will be back in a minute. When it's something that you really want and somebody just dig their hands in there, and it's no type of it's nothing that we can do about it. Okay, I see one saying I'm sneezing. I think that is hilarious, sneezing in your hand and seeing if they what they do. And that's so funny because people will do like certain things and then when you do it in return it's like the nerve of you, but it's okay for I think that is um so funny. Yeah, if somebody sneezes in their hand, no, no, sir, no, ma'am, not touching, not borrowing your pen, not eating your food. Sorry, I see it in the office weekly. It's so funny because even being at the high school, like I see a lot of the high school kids like now, they just drink off of each other and eat off of each other like it's nothing. I think when we were in high school, even though I was younger, I don't think I was much of a germaphobe as I maybe am now. I guess because you learn, but I still was a um I enjoy biology, so I still with my mind was still in there. But nowadays, these kids be like drinking and eating off of each other, like they're brother and sister, family, like eating whole like literally biting off of it and giving it to somebody else. And I'm in the classroom like, oh my God, like that is just I tell my kids, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. They have no type of thought process for it. It's just like your saliva is my saliva. And I'm wondering like if they even think about like, their saliva is in there, right? It's not like you're just drinking off of people, but their saliva is in there. And it's funny because of the fact that like sometimes they'll like one person to be drinking off of it and then the other person to take it and do like that, but it's still like the other person's saliva is in there. I think that's just disgusting. I don't know if you guys know that. Some of you that have teens, they be going for it in in school. Okay, I got a YouTube comment. In church, my pastor uses sanitizer before shaking hands, right hand of fellowship, and after they also give sanitizer to bro or sister who shakes the pastor's hands. Oh, that's hey, I'm for it. I'm for it. Y'all prepared. Like y'all gonna get this
Especially in this COVID world we live in
and this
today.
sanitizer. I was talking about how in the high school, like now, like a lot of those kids, they just be eating and drinking off of each
Oh
other
man,
like it
yeah,
ain't
it's
nothing.
bad.
Like let's just share. Let's
Bad
just share
business.
all our germs. I
Bad
think that
business.
is just disgusting.
Bad
Hey
business.
Tifa. Okay, guys. So we are going to. Oh, I'm
Let's move
sorry.
on.
Yeah,
I'm
we're just
ready.
gonna move on to our main conversation, just because like we said, we don't want to hold you guys on here long, so we'll probably get off a little earlier than normal, as it's been a long day. Okay, so the topic of conversation, and we want you guys to chime in, especially if you have teens or you know somebody that have teens. Please tag them and see if they are awake and see if they can jump in. But the question is, um, what age is appropriate to start dating, and is it different for boys and girls? So I'll give a little bit of a backstory. So we have a teen who is 13. She just turned 13, a girl. Um, because we have a boy teen too, but I'm talking about the girl, which is
He's older,
funny.
by the way.
Right, he's older, right? But she comes and she says, she was like, well, what age, can I start dating? And I guess I'll give my answer later. But I told her what I
That's
thought.
fair.
And then next thing you know, she has a friend that likes her and she likes him. And they're 13. So yeah, that's just an interesting uh thought process with that. And dealing with boys, because I feel the same way about I think my son too. Like I will want to know like which the man and guy here thinks is weird because I'll ask like
That is.
I'll ask their
Oh, you gonna
type.
tell everybody? Oh, you gonna tell everybody what the weird stuff is? That is weird.
Yeah, I'll ask their type. Like I'll be like, "Oh, do you think she's cute or do you think he's handsome?" Whatever. I do
That's
that from
weird.
time to time. I just want to know. I just want to know what we're looking at. But anyway, um, the whole conversation came up. The whole conversation came up with thinking about, even with her, like when she told me she liked him. I actually had a chance to meet him, and I was like, "Oh, I like him." So I was talking to the man, a guy here, about like just about having like how that works as far as like having, if your teen does have a friend, like having them over, inviting them over for dinner and stuff like that. Like that's just such an interesting dynamic, because I think when I was younger we didn't do that. Like you wasn't
Oh
having your
no.
boyfriend or girlfriend coming over and like we sitting down having dinner at 13. Like that's not gonna, like that just wasn't
Some.
something that we did. But I don't think that it's a bad
I
thing.
think it's a great thing.
Yeah,
I
I think
think it's. So I don't have a particular age per se. I think for
16 is
me,
good. By then, certain things can be explained and understood.
I think it's um I think it's about the maturity level and the openness that your kids are willing to have with you, right? Like, because I think there's a need to have certain conversations.
Yeah.
We're living in a different world. It's a different world. Mm. Then where you come? Okay, but anyway,
Where it comes from.
it's a different world. So I think there's a need. I do
Feels funny
appreciate.
up
I will
here.
say this. I do appreciate our kids because
No,
our
that ain't gonna work.
kids are somewhat like they're gonna talk to us. I don't know. Like when I was growing up, man, I didn't want my dad or anybody knowing
In my business.
who I'm talking to.
Like,
Like if I had a, because number one, they didn't want you to have no girlfriend, like just I ain't got no girlfriend, you ain't got no girlfriend, and that person ain't got no boyfriend, like all that. Like they didn't want any of that, especially in church. Lord have mercy. So I remember, I'm gonna be real honest on here tonight. I remember like having to
yes, Katrina.
like sneak around. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like sneak around. I
Yeah.
remember we used to do bad stuff. I can't even tell you. Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We was kissing in the balcony at church.
Yeah.
I'm talking about I was 9, 10, 8.
Yeah.
We kissing in the balcony at church after church over.
Yeah.
Like but I think that we just was, I don't know. I think we were, if you don't kill that curiosity, like if you notice your kids have certain curiosities, right? At 7, at 8, at 9, I think that at those ages now, because of the world we live in, if you don't have conversations about it, not saying like, even like, with Dream, because she knows on these days, like, okay, Dream, like you don't date yet. But like,
Right.
but we have conversations around it, like just saying to her, like,
And she's not dating.
no, but I'm just having conversations. We have a conversation with Dream. Like I say things to Dream, like um, for as far as a boy kissing a girl, like or girls kissing a girl, like those conversations need to be had because
Yeah.
this stuff is just blatantly out here, and especially if someone comes to the school, right? Kid
I
picks up
mean,
their
not even
school,
in
they
school.
got
They
two
got little Disney
mommies.
movies.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
like, if you don't have conversations,
Right.
I think you need to have conversations as early as possible when you know there's a curiosity. I'm not even talking about dating yet. I think because then that will allow them to trust or be open with you, like as I think Yane is. And I want to
Right.
know. I want to know. I want to know who they talking to. You know what I'm saying? Good try, but it's okay. I want to know, like, because I think Yane at least letting us know who her friend is, and then like, you got to meet them. They was up playing soccer together and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They like, it's like no, and then like no, I want to know him so I can
Yeah.
see, okay, what kind of cut this boy from, like his
Yeah.
family. Do I feel anything discerning? Am I discerning anything off with him or his
Right.
family?
Right.
So I think it's good to know and good to be and make your kids feel comfortable with it, because I think to a degree, like I'm now your age, that's up to you. I think for me, like I said, it's maturity. To be
Yeah.
honest, I trust. Ooh, uh,
Oh no, you gotta make
Okay.
sure ears ain't
Okay,
around,
ears.
y'all.
I trust.
Ears
I
be around.
trust. Um, it's sad. I mean, they're 2 years apart now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, but I right now at this point, I'll probably trust Yane more than DY. But there is a little bit of a there is I don't say I don't I do trust DY now.
Yeah.
I do. He's getting there. I trust him. But I'm saying like yeah, I
It's
trust
just
him.
different influence in a sense, maybe.
Correct. I think they're more I think they're both solidified knowing who they are.
Yeah.
You know? I want a girl to influence him more. You know what I mean? And like I said, I think it's important to have those kinds of conversations
Yeah.
so that your kids don't go out here exploring, Dora the Explorer, and then you're not really talking to them about these things because the enemy is crafty and he's trying to introduce these things
Yeah.
as soon as possible, right? I'm talking about through books, even in elementary school books.
Yeah.
This stuff is wild now. It's wild. So I think that
Wildwood.
if they say, "Oh, I like this boy," even if Dynasty say it, okay, let's talk about it. That's good. I'm glad you like a boy, and that's good for you to understand that this is okay for you to like boys, and that you should like boys. But right now is not the time for you to be, say you're a boyfriend or girlfriend with the boy. That time will come for you,
Right.
right? Because at my like the way I used to feel was like I could never date. Like that's how I felt. Keep looking over there like
Oh, because it looked
I know
like the
because the
door
door is
moved.
open. I know. Um,
Like we sneaking y'all away from the kids. We keep looking at the door like, wait, is somebody listening?
you want to have a conversation about this? No, but I
Yeah,
think
because we said it last
I
time.
think it's important to be open with them, and because they still know we are their disciplinarians. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But at the same time, I think there's a balance to understand. Like you want them to have that conversation with you, compared to having a conversation with John Joe, and then they be like, well, their parents let them do.
Right.
Well, let me explain, because what the answer we used to get was, you ain't, I ain't they, you ain't they ain't, you not they kids. Like, okay, so now like kids want to know why, and they got all this stuff they can look up on just everybody's social media page, Google, all that. So I think there's a means of having conversations to say, okay, this is why we think this way. This is the things that are going on in the world. These are the things like I was gonna say about this because back in the day, parenting, it was no explaining. It was just do what I say do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay, but I think it's good to
Beatrice, I like
explain.
what you yes, when that was the question that I did ask her what she felt dating was, and it was holding
Yeah, that
hands
was a good question.
sometimes.
That's what she said to you.
This is what she told me.
Yeah.
Spending more time with people, which is very interesting because we don't even hold hands like out and about really. I mean, sometimes we
We
do
do
like
on
if we're
vacation.
away, but we don't really do like that kind of situation. Um, yeah, I think just if like we're away or something. So it's just interesting to me, first of all, that she said that, but she said holding hands, and spending more time with them. So I was like, oh, okay. And I asked I asked 2 times to try to make sure we understood what she felt dating, somebody was. Because I think like you said, like when we were younger, it's funny because it seemed like it was
And she
more
didn't want to. She didn't want
um
to tell me.
yeah, she came and talked to me, well, actually what happened was she talked to my mother,
Right.
and
That's how
I
it
overheard
started.
the
That's how it
conversation.
started.
And my mother, being she's just beautiful grandma, she just told her, she's like, well, did you talk to mommy and daddy about it or whatever? So later that night she came and had a conversation with me because originally I told
Let
her,
me just check one
I
more
think
time
I
on
told
that.
her
Cause I want
16.
that crazy go down.
Okay.
All
I
right.
told her
That's what you originally told her.
I told her 16 because I felt like that was a good age for dating. But I said, it's okay to like someone and for them to like you. And once I got her understanding of dating, I'm like, oh, okay, it's fine if you like somebody and they like you. Which she kind of knew already that 16 was the age because, of course, she asked me before. But before when she asked me, I don't know if she had somebody that she liked or if it was just a question. But recently she's had somebody that she said they both like each other, but I have to have another conversation with her because I'm not sure, if they still like each other or what's going on with that. Y'all know how that is. But anywho, I did think about a few times about and I told I told her, I said, well, you can invite your friends over. Your friends can come over. Of course, you guys will only be able to be, in a family room, and that would be it. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how that went. And yes, I am grateful that she did come to us and talk to us. That's um, our YouTube comment. But yeah, so I don't really have a whole bunch more to say about that. We just wanted to talk about it a little bit because it's something that we have come into recently. And I don't know how many other people on here are that's watching or that will watch. You can definitely feel free to comment, have teens, and how you deal with that, how you dealt with the transition of them dating, of them coming over, getting to know them, because we know as they're, normally when they're a little bit younger, of course, it's probably not going to be, it might not be like long term a lot of the times. Um, but, as they get older, of course, you want them to come over. But the question was, what age we start. And I think we got a 16. I don't think anybody else commented at age. I think we got 16. And that's about kind of how I felt regarding the
16. So
age
that's 10th grade.
dating. Yeah, to start dating day. I mean, I know you like people and you have little crushes and you might call boyfriend and girlfriend like when you're younger. So, I mean,
Exactly.
but I just feel like,
When'd you start dating?
when I started dating, probably high school. I
Oh,
mean,
stop.
I was exposed to um sexual things when I was 5. So that you know and understanding like a lot of stuff that went on, but as
Yeah.
far as dating, I didn't until I was in high school. I didn't really consider, I mean, you have,
Not even
your
junior
little
high.
friends. I mean, I had like people I liked and they liked me. We did little kisses. I got in trouble um one time.
See,
I
TMI.
got in trouble when I must have been probably like, but this is
TMI.
when I was like young. I was like 6 years old, and I blackmailed this little boy to kiss me. Cause I was like, "Oh, you want to play my thing?" I had like this little tape recorder thing, so I was like, "If you want to play, you gotta give me a kiss." So I got in trouble. My mom found out. I don't remember if somebody told her,
Ooh,
somebody
fast.
told her, or what happened. So yeah, yeah, and then yeah,
Fast
after that
behind.
we had people that we liked, but I didn't really feel like I was dating. Like it was just boys you like, y'all talked on, different stuff. I
You
didn't feel
told the
like,
boy he got to kiss you.
yeah, I
Boy
was like
game.
6, child.
Ah, that like that make it better. That's worse.
I know. I was a child. I mean, I was exposed. Okay,
Good
I
for
did
you,
not start that. Yeah. See, oh,
Beatrice.
that's
That's
good.
excellent.
That's good. What about everybody else? We can face. What age did you guys
They only that's
consider
we can
you
only see
started
YouTube over there though. We can't
dating?
see Facebook.
Oh yeah, you guys can't see the YouTube
No,
comments.
I'm
I'm gonna
saying you
start putting
can't.
them on.
I'm saying you able to see everybody's Facebook.
Yeah, I can see. I can see Facebook right now. What age did you guys start dating?
Now I'll be honest though. Before I had kids,
We're at
I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna be real honest. Before I had kids, in my mind, I had a bias of how soon I would let my son date over my daughter. I literally did. But as I grew and mature, I think I changed. It changed just based upon their levels of maturity more than, you know, in my biases of being like my daughter ain't never dating. Like that's how I just felt like, you know. But I don't know. I think the way they are, and I'm not saying this in like no um like big headed way or nothing like that. I'm saying the way I feel they're being raised by you, um by by
by the
by me,
village.
by our
Yeah,
village, by my
yeah,
mom, by your mom, especially because your mom's with them every day.
yeah,
I think all of that helps,
yeah.
like they feel like they know they can, and you know what's wild? And it's not like
And
I
even like
never,
teen church, like I love that we have teen, you know what I mean? Because they have
yeah,
conversations that we might not normally
right,
have,
right,
but they
right,
can
right,
have
right,
them,
right.
and I love that.
Yeah, that's true too. Shout out Pastor T.
Shout
But I
out.
would say for me though, I would, it's wild. Like I think about their, like for example, like both our moms, right? because my mom had asked me a question about one of them dating. Was it Yane? I think at the time.
I think
One of them.
so.
And I think Yane was already throwing the questions at my mom. So the point being is like, I never. I love my grandparents, but I could never imagine going to my grandfather like, you know what, Pop, like I'm about to start like. I
When can
couldn't
I
even
start dating?
imagine.
Shit, I feel like you get
I
a
couldn't even
spanking as soon as
imagine
you open your mouth.
as close as I felt to them, as close as I especially felt to my grandma Wiggins, as close as I felt to her. And she died my freshman year of college. Sorry, my freshman year of high school. She passed away. Um, I couldn't imagine. I maybe when I got to college, you know what I mean? Like I'd be like, "Yo, grandma, you know, she'd have been one of the first people I introduced to whoever I was dating. My grandma would have been, you know what I mean? But like, uh, I just couldn't walk up to him like, "Hey, how y'all feel about dating?" I think the thank God for our village. That's what I'm saying. Like that our mothers, they feel like they can have those conversations with them.
Yeah.
When they and it's good because they're not going outside of like just wild answers, and then the grandmoms come and tell us
Yeah.
and kind of let us know without trying, and we know how to handle it like without going to like we don't go to yo what y'all grandmoms like no, I'm glad they go to
Yes.
them.
Yeah,
You know,
I think it's that's so funny because like I don't even think I'm trying to think. I might have been, yeah. It probably was high school where I think I told my mom that I was, I guess, dating. Like I think everything else before that, like I had boyfriends in high school, like before like 16, but it still was like, this is just like patty cake. Like it's just, hey, we might be dating for a week and maybe not. It was just an interesting thing. But I couldn't like I didn't have that like young to be like, oh yeah, like it just wasn't even a question. It felt like if you asked that, like it was almost like it was wrong. And not to say that they said anything or said that it was wrong, but it just felt like no, you're too young to be dating until you're 21 or 25, right? It just seemed like you wasn't supposed to date until you were like older or you ready to get married. That's how it felt. So it's definitely a different dynamic, and it wasn't like they said anything or did anything to make you feel like you can't, but it just was like it just seemed like
but
that's just what it was.
Did you feel more like because of that? Did you feel like, and I don't want to use this
So
word, but
doing it behind the back.
did you feel more like rebellious?
um
You felt more like a rebel
I guess
because you felt like you couldn't be open to have that conversation or to bring somebody around or be like, I'm bringing such and such to church. Like if you had a boyfriend and like, oh, I want to bring him to church, it'd still be like, you got a boyfriend. Like that's how I would be like if I had a girlfriend. Be like, you got a girlfriend. Like, huh? Like like that struggle of just saying I do. Can I bring them to church? Like it's the first statement. You didn't even hear the last one.
Yeah, I think it was just like a unspoken thing. Like we just didn't talk about it. Like I'm still gonna date, but you just like we're not gonna have a conversation about it. I'm still gonna do kind of because like my high school journey was like my probably would it be considered like my college journey. So by the time I got to college, I felt like you know how when people first get to college, they be like, "Oh, I'm free." They have a. I felt like that kind of like that happened to me in high school where I felt like but
So I'll say
it
this.
wasn't.
Go ahead, keep going.
No, I was saying it wasn't like it just didn't seem like a conversation like we would have, and I wasn't asking. I mean, I think a lot of the people that I was, I guess you want to say dating or boyfriend, whatever, at the time, they weren't somebody I was going to be trying to bring to church anyway. But yeah, it was yeah. So
I'm
that
not
just
like feeling
that conversation was. I mean, all of the
I know, but you're making it sound
gang
like
people I was with and different
okay,
things.
but you're making it sound like a little worse. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah,
just saying I didn't have in my mind like, oh yeah, let's bring him to
I know, but I'm sorry, but
church.
the way you're saying it sounds like you a floozy
Uh, how is that a floozy?
because you're
You
like I
saying
can't
it
bring
like
guys.
you saying it like no. A floozy is that's when you have
I know you weren't a floozy. I'm just saying, but that's what you
sexual
make it.
things with people,
I
correct?
know, and I know you
Okay, so
wasn't, but
yeah,
that's what you're
no, that
saying. It sounds
no,
like
I'm
that.
not. I'm just saying you had boyfriends and stuff. Like you had I mean, I don't think I don't know. Maybe somebody else can
I'm
tell. I don't
saying
think
that's
people
what it
have
sounds like.
one boyfriend like from
No, it's okay.
even
It's
let's
okay.
just say high school. You
I'm
don't have
just saying.
one boyfriend or one girlfriend, right?
I know.
Or do
No,
you?
no, no, no,
Or
no, no,
before
no.
that?
You said like, "Oh, I can't bring them to church." Like it made it sound like
Yeah,
like
because
you was out here a
they
floozy.
wasn't like in my thought process, like you had to be good to go to church. I was younger. You had to be good to go to church.
Okay.
So they didn't
Okay.
fit in that. Like if it's
Okay.
like if you in a gang, like I'm not invite. I like
Okay.
now
I
with my
understand.
mindset, of course, I'll be like, yo, you need to
I
go.
understand.
But when I was younger, I'm not thinking I'm bringing this guy that's in a gang to my church. Like I just
Okay.
wasn't
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. You
thinking
good. You're
about
good.
that.
You're good.
Just the side eye.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I listen. I know her story from zero to the age she is now. I'll leave that ageless. I won't say. But yeah. But I will say this too. So, and the thing is, when I had girlfriends, my parents didn't even know. And this is the wild thing, but their parents knew me. And because I would never bring um, a girlfriend to my house. I would always go to their house. And
Facebook,
then
y'all quiet over there. You see
I
y'all
would
all y'all
go, I
quiet.
would go to
YouTube,
I
y'all
would go to their
giving
house.
us thank y'all.
I would go to the girl's house. Their parents would know me. They would like me. And my parents or my dad or different ones, my aunt, uncle, they were completely unaware. They had no idea. It was just like, because I was like, ooh, this is like forbidden. Like,
But
like
that's
it
what
was
I'm
just,
saying. It was like an unspoken, like you still
I,
doing it, but it's just something like we ain't talking about it. Like it just
I know, I know, I know, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it like it wasn't something that like that you talk about. And you,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were saying that y'all what y'all was doing in church. I mean, I guess y'all was, if you meeting somebody
That was in Georgia. I was
at
acting
church,
up.
that's a little bit, I guess that's different. But I mean, I don't know. I wasn't trying to bring, people
Yeah, like
to church.
my junior year prom,
We trying to hear some of y'all.
I
When did you
took,
got? I know we got an answer from Beatrice. Thank you for sharing about when you started dating.
wait, here goes sidebar. My
Sidebar.
junior year of high school, I wasn't, at the time during prom, I wasn't dating anybody. I wasn't, but I had girls I could have asked to take to prom at my school, but because of I had a friendship, I do had a friendship, cool friendship with.
I think everybody has
No,
girl
no, here,
guys
no,
that they could
no,
take.
no. Here's my story. No, you gotta. Can I finish the story? Because this goes back to the whole thing about
Yeah.
church
I was
and
just
about
messing.
just like the whole like. This is funny. I can't land
Oh,
this.
y'all
So
prom.
so prom, like it was like I couldn't take a girl that I was maybe like I was maybe talking to somebody, anything like that, but it wasn't nothing serious. It was like I ain't taking you to prom, like you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like that. Anyone in the school wasn't serious. So I remember my prom my junior year, we was friends and we were cool. So I was like, yo, I'll ask um, Stephanie Barron, Elder Barron's daughter, to go to prom with me. But and she went. We was cool. We was like, yo, we're gonna go to prom together. But the funny thing is, like, I know my family knows Barron. Barron's a pastor. They know his daughters. We grew up to get all that. So it was kind of like you can't even ask somebody in your school because if I did at the time, and be like, who you talking to? Like, who you dating? Who's this? Like, I didn't even want that friction. So I'm like,
Wow.
I'm gonna ask a friend that I'm cool with. That what I mean? Like, we cool, we good people with each other, and me and Stephanie were cool. So I was like, Stephanie, yo, I need you to go prom with me, whatever. And so that's how it went down.
That's
Because of
crazy.
I'm trying to tell you, like it was
It
just
wasn't that
so.
bad for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You ain't have to be
That's
at
what I'm
church.
saying. That I had a good time and fun. Stephanie's my people's,
No, I'm
but
saying you didn't have to be like it didn't have to be somebody at church. If anything,
yes,
be the
that's
opposite.
I
Total
just didn't
opposite.
want any kind of like
Wow.
what's going on. That's what I'm saying. It was like that. Like that's how so that's why my senior year I didn't do that. I had somebody I was dating in school and all that. But my junior year and at my senior year I was living, at that time with Mom Dukes. So like I was just like, nah, I don't need nobody to know that. I just like nah, I don't need nobody like it. Like I just felt so forbidden to date.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
that's
So I had to go with
interesting.
I had to be like, yo, Steph, let's go to because
Mm.
nobody will question that. Nobody would even ask me a question. Nobody would say anything. They'd be like, oh yeah. And then people probably hoping that work out or something because we both like pastors and everybody
Oh
know each
yeah,
other and
that
all
used to
that.
be
Oh yeah.
funny.
Oh yeah.
That whole situation.
Oh yeah. That's that church.
Yeah. Be like, I like you for my son. He'd be like,
Because that's how a lot. That's how a lot of them. That's how a lot of them. All my aunts, uncles,
Yeah.
my parents, different ones. It was all about
I'm thinking about doing that for our kids.
It was like matchmaking almost in a sense. No offense. I love my
What's
family.
it
I
called?
love what happened. I praise the Lord for what happened.
Prearranged marriage.
But it was
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
That's
I'm
biblical.
Gonna do that for our
it's
kids.
biblical.
I do think about it from time to time, but I haven't seen the. But as long as we get the eye of approval, I gotta meet you.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta see what you're about. Like you said, like I gotta know your family.
See, that's what I'm saying. But that's
like,
what made it. That's what made it so, like, in those days with my parents and different ones.
Yeah.
That's what made it easy because I know your family.
Right.
We grew up in church together. We all know each other. We know your family saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. We ain't nobody going nowhere. Like there's no questioning things. There's
What's
no questioning
messed up
backgrounds.
though is like about something like that is like, what do you do like if you know somebody's family crazy?
But that's the thing. They
like
weren't pairing with the crazy.
That's like that's rude. Like, nah, you can't mess with my son or daughter because you crazy and your whole family crazy. So y'all need to stay. That's a shame, y'all. That's a shame. But it's funny because stuff like that did happen. But when you're a child, like you don't notice like certain things like that do take place. You know what I mean? It's just so funny. But guys,
families around us.
We are going to get ready to get off.
Yeah.
Because we did say we weren't going to hold you long. We are at 46. Is that 46 or 48? 46 minutes. So we are going to let you guys go. We are thankful that you guys have joined us on tonight. And hopefully you guys will join us next week. We are actually thinking about, I know we've been saying this, just trying to get you guys ready for when we transition to a new time. We are thinking about doing a little bit.
I might have a church conversation
earlier.
next week.
Yeah, we'll do that next week. Next week is
a good church conversation.
Yes. So we're going to do so next week. Join us for our pre-Easter conversation.
And ain't got to do nothing with Easter.
Pre-resurrection conversation. On next week we will be doing that. We're gonna do your top 10 favorite Easter outfits. It's like, nah.
I might do that. I don't know why.
We're gonna show y'all some pictures of some Easter outfits and let y'all pick. No, I'm joking, but you never know what we might do. But join us next week. Again, we are on 9:30 on Saturdays. So definitely join us. Thanks for getting on. Thanks for sharing. If you think of anything else, y'all know where we at, right? With this conversation, we trying to get into this situation with our daughter and this dating situation. So if y'all have tips, don't be afraid to share. We are open to listen. Okay. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. Get some good rest, and we will see you guys hopefully next week.
See ya.